Hey guys, welcome back. In the series of learning programming in C, in the previous video, we have already discussed about how to learn C, character set and tokens of C in brief. In today's video, we will discuss about variables in C. What are variables, the need of variables, how to declare variables, and then some conventions, naming conventions to have variable names and some valid and invalid variable names. So those who are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon so that you can get the notifications of all my new videos. Your likes, your shares, your comment gives us more and more motivation and we can come up with more and more videos. And when you click on the subscription button, you will not be charged for it. All these videos you can get it for free. So please click on the subscribe button immediately and support us. And we will be getting motivated with your views, with your likes. So please do support me so that I can come up with more number of videos. Let's talk about the need of variables. So when you want to print some message using the program, through the program, say I want to display the message welcome to C. So how can I do that? I can simply say printf welcome to C. So I say welcome to C. This is what the message that what I can display using the printf statement. But when you want to compute something, say for example you want to find the largest of three numbers. So I just have values like 10, 20 and 30. If I just ask you to do this manually, you can simply say you can record these numbers, you can register these numbers in your memory, or you can just write it down in a piece of paper and you can just say 30 is greater. Because we have brain and we have memory also, we store these numbers and we say 30 is greater. But how to do this using computer? So we need to write some program. And we have to store this inside the computer's memory. Well, of course, computer has memory to store these data. But again, the user has to give the instructions to compute this and find which is the largest number. So what we have to do? We have to store these data inside the computer's memory. Like how we store in our memory, we have to store these data inside the memory. So how the data will be stored in the computer's memory? So inside the memory, these values will be stored randomly. Say you have 10 stored here, randomly 20, and you have some address for this. Say for example, the address is 1000 for this, the address is 2000 for this, and the address is 3000 for this. And we have stored these data inside the computer's memory. Fine. But how do we access this? So we have to access it through some name. So we say, let me access this with the name A. So I'll just say I'm accessing these values, say through the name A. So let me give the name as B for this and the name C for this. So I'll access these memory locations, which is 1000, 2000 and 3000 with the names A, B and C. So this is how we are storing the data inside the computer's memory. So why we require variable? We require variables to store these data inside the memory and access those data through those names. So these names are like variable names. So variable is nothing but quantity we have discussed in the previous video, which keeps on changing. Right? When I say I want to change this value, I say I want to give 20 here or 200 here. So I can just access this value A and I can change this to 200. So we need variables to store the data inside the computer's memory. So what actually this variable is? So variable is nothing but the name that what we give, a user-friendly name that what we give to a memory block. So it is the name given to a memory block. Say for example, I'll give the name as A and I'm going to store some value here and this memory block is associated with some address. So you have three things to remember here. So a variable or a memory block is associated with three things. One is the variable name, that what we give, the value that what we are going to store, and finally the address, the location of that memory block. So in general, we know a variable is a quantity which keeps on changing. But when I want to say in programming terms, I'll say a variable is a memory block, the name given to the memory block that stores some value, and that value keeps on changing. So let's talk about how to declare this variable. So we have to make use of some syntax here. So we say we have to provide the data type followed with the variable name and a semicolon which terminates that variable declaration syntax. Say for example, I'll say the data type as int. We'll talk about this data type in detail in the next video. So I say int, it's a keyword that specifies that I'm going to store integer value. So I'll have the variable name as a. So this is how we declare the variable. So what happens when the variable is being declared? So what the compiler will do, it is going to allocate a memory for that variable a according to the size of this data type. So it will refer to the data type and it will say it is like 2 bytes. In some processor it may be 4 bytes. It depends upon the compiler and processor that what we use. So here let me say 2 bytes of memory I am going to get, and some address will be there for this, and we are going to store some value. How can I store the value? I can say a equal to 10 in the next line. So I say 10 is stored in this memory block. This is what variable declaration statement. I can also initialize the value in the declaration line itself. So how can I do that? I can say int a equal to 10. So this is declaration cum initialization statement. So this is how we are going to declare a variable. We'll talk about these data type, the storage capacity of every data type in detail in the next video. This is the declaration of variable. So we saw how to declare a variable. So when we declare a variable, how the memory will be allocated and how the value can be stored, all these things we saw. But the question arises here, like how to have this variable name. It's not that I can simply have the variable name as I wish. So the variable name that what we create, it should also suit the data that what I'm going to accept. So for example, if I want to accept the age of the person, I can have the variable name as age itself. It's not like I can simply say X. It's not. So you have to have the variable names that is going to suit your data. So I want to accept 2 values. I can simply say accept the value in A, B, X or Y, something like that. You want to accept the register number of the student. I can have the variable name as register number itself. But I can somehow declare my variable that is going to suit my data. But we have to also follow certain rules to have these variable names. So let's see what are all the rules to have the variable names. So I can just classify these rules into 3 categories. So what I can say is, I'll just say what can be used to have the variable name, what can be used. Then I can say what cannot be used to have the variable name, and some restrictions are there, and the very important rule which says it is case sensitive. So let us talk about these rules in detail now. The first rule says, it says what can be used to have the variable name. So the first thing that what we should remember is, we have to have the variable name that is going to suit my data, that what I'm going to accept. So according to that, I'll have the variable name, and we need to follow all these rules for that. So what I can use to have a variable name, I can make use of alphabets, I can make use of digits, and the only allowed special symbol which is underscore. So I can make use of alphabets, I can make use of digits, and I can make use of underscore to have the variable name. Then what cannot be used? I cannot make use of keywords. I cannot make use of special symbols. Then I cannot make use of blank space. Blank space is not allowed. So alphabets, digits, and only allowed special symbol is underscore. Keywords, special symbols, and blank space cannot be used. So what can be used and what cannot be used? Then there are some restrictions. It says the variable name should always start with a letter. It should start with a letter but not with a digit. So this is one special rule that what we need to follow. Then it is case sensitive. So if I have the variable name in lowercase h, and if I have the variable name in uppercase, say h, both are different. So it is case sensitive. So this is what about the rules that what we need to follow. The first rule says what we can use. I can use alphabets A to Z, uppercase and lowercase, both with different meaning. Because when you have the uppercase value A, you have the ASCII value for that which starts from 65. If it is lowercase a, it starts with the ASCII value 97. So each and every case will have its own unique ASCII value. So both are different. When I say digits, I can use from 0 to 9. And the only allowed special symbol is underscore. Right? And I cannot make use of keywords. Keywords cannot be used because it's a predefined word, it's a reserved word, the meaning is already defined for it, and I can only use those keywords in my program whenever I require, but not as a variable name. In fact, variable is one of the identifier. We'll talk about this identifier in the next video. Then we have special symbols. Special symbols, only allowed special symbol is underscore. This is what underscore. This is what underscore. But the other special symbols are not allowed to have a variable name. Then blank space, empty space cannot be used. It says it should start with a letter but not with a digit. It's a restriction. The variable name should start with a letter but not with a digit, and it is case sensitive. So let me give some examples for all these things. Say when I say I can use alphabets, I can say the variable name as A. I can say the variable name as register number, and all these are valid variable name that what I can use. I can use digits. I can just say num1 as the variable name. I can use underscore. I can just say num underscore 1, and in few compilers it also says you can also start with the underscore. I can just have underscore num. This is also a valid variable name. These are all the valid variables name, which is telling this rule saying that you can use alphabets, you can use digits, and you can use underscore. Alphabets are there, digits, and you have underscore. Keywords, special symbols, and blank space cannot be used. Say for example, I cannot have the keyword int as the variable name because it is a keyword to specify the data type integer. I cannot make use of the keyword for because it is a keyword for looping construct. Special symbols, say I cannot have the variable name like this. Say let me tell I have the variable name as xy at the rate. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. Invalid. Right? Then we can use underscore. Not all these other special symbols. Only allowed special symbol is underscore. Then it says you cannot use blank space. So for example, I'll say I have the variable name like this. Say num space 1. It is wrong. So blank space not allowed. Then finally it says it should start with a letter but not with a digit. Say if I have the variable name as one num, this is wrong. One num is wrong. I can have like this, num1, or I can say num_1. This is correct. So it should start with a letter but not with a digit. And finally it says it is case sensitive. So you have different values for different cases. If you have the variable name in uppercase, it is different. If you have the variable name in lowercase, it is different. So these are all the rules to have the variable name. So here is a task for you. So you have to identify the valid and invalid variable names. So here I have given few list of valid variable names and few invalid variable names. You have to just identify which are valid variables and which are invalid variable names. Please write it in the comment box and let me know which are all the valid and invalid variable names. That's all for today's video. So hope you have understood all these things. Please stay tuned to my channel. We'll be coming with more and more videos. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Your like, shares, views, more number of views will be a motivation for us, and we'll be motivated and we'll come up with more videos. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.